Go.
Hi, thanks for stopping by. My name is Mohan Thite. And first of all, I would like to congratulate NHRD Bangalore on its Silver Jubilee function and thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity to talk about my project. Today, I would like to make a presentation on our research project on Indian multinational corporations. This project was funded by the Society for HRM, the world's largest HR professionals body in the world. Why is the world so interested in the multinational corporations from emerging economies? Well, they say history repeats itself. India and China were the world's leading global players about 300 years ago, and today they are making a big comeback. They're expanding rapidly, not only in their domestic economies, but also outwardly in the rest of the world. And with regard to the Indian multinationals, we know very little, unlike the Chinese multinationals, particularly in terms of the strategic mindset of the business leaders. And this is where our project adds value. Now, let me briefly take you through the nature and purpose of our project, its key findings, and the significance of those findings. My research colleagues on this project were Professor Adrian Wilkinson from Griffith University and Professor Pawan Budwar from Aston University. This project was based on an in depth case study of 8 well known Indian multinationals. However, for the purpose of this presentation, I'm focusing on 2 conglomerates, Tatas and Birlas, 2 IT firms, Infosys and Wipro, and 1 upcoming biopharma company, Biocon. This was an extensive research project involving in depth interviews with over 90 movers and shakers of the case study companies, such as the CEOs and chairmen, including Ratan Tata, Kumar Mangalam Birla, Shibulal, Girish Paranjpe, and Kiran Mazumdar Shah, as well as heads of HR and business functions. What is noteworthy about this project is that we interviewed the leaders not only in the headquarters of these companies, but also in their subsidiaries in both the developed markets such as USA and developing markets such as China. Thus, we were able to capture a 3-dimensional view of strategy making at the corporate offices and strategy execution in subsidiaries across the developed and developing world. In our interviews, we asked a range of questions, including the history of internationalization, the motives, constraints, and opportunities as international players, control and coordination mechanisms, the roles, contributions, and challenges of the HR function, and finally, the future outlook going forward. We conducted thematic analysis of the interview data using NVivo software in order to extract key themes. The Indian leaders highlighted how India's standing on the global economic stage has grown rapidly over the years with newfound respect for its unique competitive advantages. Because of the low cost base but skilled workforce, India can afford to innovate cheaply and keep adding value with each learning curve. The Jugaad mentality has transformed India from an imitator to innovator. Like other emerging economies, India Inc.'s ability to successfully manage the license Raj with poor infrastructure has positioned it to turn adversity into an opportunity in other similar markets around the world. Our data showed that Indian multinationals exhibit certain distinct firm specific advantages. These include innovation driven differentiation strategies. For example, the global services delivery model in IT services offshoring, the ability of Tata Motors to play in both the luxury and bottom of the pyramid auto markets, the success of Aditya Birla Group as a global commodity player, and Biocon's success in affordable but high quality healthcare solutions for both domestic and global markets. Second, the Indian firms are very ambitious. The HR head at Jaguar Land Rover said that the Indian firms try to reach for the stars and can teach Western firms a thing or two on how to achieve double-digit growth without risking long-term viability. Third, their management style is uniquely Indian in that they have a high sense of community engagement wherever they operate. They go for sustainable long-term growth. They believe in working with the existing management team after acquisition without disturbing the morale and motivation of the workforce, and they genuinely believe in employee development and empowerment. As NHRD members, you might be interested in what role HR plays in the Indian multinationals, how they have contributed to their growth, and what challenges they face in managing an increasingly global workforce. By focusing on IT companies, we identified 5 such roles, and I will briefly introduce them to you. The first role we identified is the strategic business partner role. In the IT firms, there is an acute awareness of the strategic importance of the HR function. This is manifested in senior line managers playing an active role in HR policy formulation and implementation, and the HR function structured exactly like any business function. However, our data reveals that there is still too much of India focus in strategic thinking and execution. The second role for HR is that of a guardian of culture. The corporate HR plays a key role in institutionalizing the organizational culture throughout the global operations without diluting core organizational values. However, this is easier said than done. The lack of a global mindset and the regional inflexibility that it entails is hindering HR's ability to play its role as a guardian of culture. The third HR role is that of a builder of global workforce. The Indian IT firms are trying to wean themselves away from their dependence on Western markets by expanding into the rest of the world. However, two-thirds of their workforce is still Indian. While they increasingly recognize the need to hire local talent at all levels in their overseas operations, they are constrained by the lack of IT workforce in the world markets and lack of global employer brand. More importantly, their leadership ranks are mostly homegrown and they are struggling to recruit, retain, and develop outside talent. This may perhaps explain the recent exodus of local leaders in many Indian IT companies. So, there is a long way to go in terms of leadership succession and planning. The fourth HR role we identified is that of a champion of processes. The HR function in the Indian IT firms show the same infectious enthusiasm for metrics, analytics, and process orientation like their business peers. This is manifested in the way they leverage technology in managing their global workforce via human resource information systems. The fifth role we identified is that of a facilitator of employee growth and development. In this, they do 3 things very well. 1. Employee empowerment and autonomy. 2. Career development through preference for internal promotions and continuous training opportunities. And 3. Opportunities for global career growth. What they don't do well though is in attracting and assimilating external talent and non-Indian talent at home and in overseas subsidiaries. Thus, global workforce diversity management is a major challenge. If you wish to know more about our research, these are some of the publications that have come out of our study, and I've highlighted some of them here. We are also publishing an edited book on the subject from Oxford University Press, which will come out next year. In conclusion, as first-generation infant multinationals, the Indian firms in our case study companies are very eager learners. They are acutely aware of their weaknesses and threats and are determined to learn and learn fast from their global well-established peers. At the same time, they are equally aware of their strengths and opportunities and are determined to make the most of them. India is poised to reclaim its position as the world's leading economy in the 21st century, and our research sheds some much needed light on how it's happening. But as they say in a Bollywood movie, picture abhi baki hai mere dost. Thanks for listening, goodbye and good day.